Hello, hi, it's nice to be here with you once again. This is TV Kudirat and it's time for Business Realm. Business Realm is that program where we bring to you entrepreneurship tips, advice, suggestions, encouragement on your business path. Today on Business Realm, we are discussing how to schedule and handle business meetings, scheduling and handling business meetings. Today is Sunday, the 18th day in the month of July in the year 2021, and we are reaching you from Nigeria. My name is Bola, Omotayo, and I'm happy to welcome you to this edition of Business Realm. Like I said, we are discussing business meetings. How do you schedule business meetings? How do you handle business meetings? Remember that on the last edition, what we discussed was the ideal price. At what price should you sell your stuff? At what price should you sell your articles? And don't forget that we said that price is a factor of competition, while the entrepreneur is a factor of production. So you are in charge of price related policies, and before you arrive at your price policies, it's your duty to consider the prevailing circumstances and situations. So at the end of it all, no price is right or wrong. It depends on your circumstance, it depends on your situations, it depends on your overheads. It depends on what you think should be your markup, and nobody can determine that for you. So we are moving ahead now that you have set up your business, you have your stock, and you have determined the price. You don't just sit there expecting miracles to happen. There is still a lot more for you to do, and there will always be more than enough for you to do, because the largest room in the world is the room for improvement, and you must continue to improve on whatever you do, because the day you stop to improve is the day you begin to die. So now, talking about scheduling and handling business meetings. What is a meeting, or what are meetings? Meeting refers to the coming together of two or more people to discuss relevant matters. Yes, the matter you are discussing in the meeting must be relevant to the business that you do, that you operate, must be relevant to your career. It's not just attending meetings for attending meetings' sake. That would give nothing to anyone. So it's the coming together of two or more people to discuss relevant matters. Mark that, relevant matters, not just purposeless blabbing and talking. You want to discuss relevant matters, and I'm emphasizing that, not just appearing in places to just blab. You want to discuss relevant matters to your career, to your business, and find solution to problems, either problems facing your business or problems facing people that you believe that you can solve by or with your business, or with your skills, or with what you do. So you coming together of two or more people to discuss relevant matters, find solution to problems, which may be problem facing your business or facing someone else that you can help them to solve, and lay the foundation for progress, because life is always progressing, and as a business person you must always think about progress. The coming together of two or more people to discuss relevant matters, find solutions to problems, and lay the foundation for progress. That is what a meeting is and what a meeting should be. After setting up your business, you don't remain in situ, that is just in one location, and just expect manna to fall from heaven. Remember, the entrepreneur is a factor of production that will always come back to you. You are the most important factor of production. You make production happen. You make stocking happen. You make staffing happen. You make policies happen. You make sales happen. You make everything that would keep your business afloat. You make it happen. It is your duty. So you don't just sit there, you don't remain in situ and just expecting things to sort themselves out. So you would need to consciously engage with various stakeholders. Either they are people you want to offer your services to, people you want to sell your goods to, or people whose services you need, or people who you want to supply your goods to, or people who want to supply you your raw materials. All of these people are stakeholders. So you must consciously engage with various stakeholders to ensure the success of your business. What I've written here is something else of your meetings. The meeting is to ensure the success of your business. And one of the ways to engage these stakeholders is by holding meetings with them. Either you are the one hosting the meeting within your premises, or you are going to attend the meeting without in their premises. Therefore, to make your meetings successful, because it is not every meeting that turns out successful. Some meetings end up without delivering gains to the attendees. So you, in your case, in this case, you are targeting successful meetings that will deliver results, that will yield fruits, meetings that will benefit your cause, meetings that would advance your cause, meetings that would lead to you having a good bargain on your raw materials, meeting that would that will help you win more customers to buy your products, meetings that would make your place a place to be for everyone who would like to have what you offer. So to have a successful meeting, there are things you must do, there are steps you must take. Your meeting may be held within your business premises, like I said, and that is, you are hosting the meeting. Because when the meeting is within your premises, that means you are the host. You are hosting the meetings. And sometimes you may also be the host of a meeting that is not happening within your premises. Maybe because you expect a large crowd and you don't have a space that is big enough to host the number of people that you expect. Sometimes it is not because you're having a large crowd. It is just because you want it in a particular kind of atmosphere that does not exist within your premises. For instance, if you operate in a noisy market, for instance, you operate in a place like Idumota or Gota or Okeari or Obalende or what's this place called? Tinubu, Dosumu. If you operate a business in that kind of environment where you have the regular Lagos hustle and bustle, and you need to have some a lengthy discussion, maybe with your manufacturer or supplier or even prospective customers, you may, because if you are there, even if you have enough space, there are businesses in those areas with very big space, but there are times that you just realize that if you remain within your premises, you will be distracted. Your staff will keep coming to get approvals, to get your consent, to get your go ahead, and some customers would insist on seeing you, maybe to get some discount. So to avoid these distractions, you want to take the meeting, even though you are the host, but you still want to take the meeting away from the noisy area or from the distraction. So you schedule your meeting for a place like Ikoyi or Victoria Island or Ikeja, so that you can concentrate on the meetings, so that you can marshal your points, so that you can get yourself together to persuade these stakeholders to consider your views. So you may host a meeting within your premises, and there are meetings that, even though you are the host, you want to host outside. Now, if you are holding a meeting at a location that is under your control, that is within your premises, or you are the one who paid for the location, these are the steps that you have to take when you are hosting the meeting within your premises. One, you need to identify, even before the meeting at all, the meeting is at your instance. You are the one calling the meeting. The first thing to do, you are the one who considers the meeting necessary, who think that a meeting should hold for some reasons. First and foremost, you need to identify the need or the purpose for the meeting. And once you are able to identify the need for that meeting, it is easy for you to present the meeting idea to some people. And when they ask you, why do we need to hold this meeting? Because you have already identified the purpose, the need for that meeting, you can easily tell them that I feel we should hold this meeting for this reason and that reason. Now, once you have identified the need for the meeting, the next thing is to inform key stakeholders. Not everybody to start with, you inform key stakeholders to get their views. Mr. Johnson, I think we should have a meeting for so categories of people and that categories of people. And Mr. Johnson asks you why. You tell Mr. Johnson, and Mr. Johnson says, yes, it's important to have such a meeting. It will benefit both parties, or all of the parties, in in specific ways. Once you get the consent of Mr. Johnson, you tell Mrs. James, don't you think we should have a meeting to sort out this and that issue? And Mrs. James says, oh yes, I think so too. Then you start preparing for the meeting, because you feel that you are convinced that the meeting idea is welcome and it is worthwhile. So the next thing is to start preparing for the meeting. Now, you draw the agenda, because the meeting in the first place is your idea. So you go ahead to draw the agenda. You consider the people that you think should be invited to the meeting, and you consider the things that should be discussed in the meeting. So you draw the agenda. After you have arrived at the agenda, then you publish and distribute notice of the meeting. You write the notice of meeting, you publish the notice of meeting, and distribute the notice of meeting. By publishing the notice of meeting, I mean that you have a notice board within your premises. You paste a copy there. If you want to make an announcement in the radio, that's publishing. You want to announce the meeting in a newspaper, that's publishing. But beyond that, you do not assume that everybody walking past the notice board will check out the notice on the board, or would take would take note of the notice of meeting. Don't assume so. You don't assume that because you have published the adverts on the television, that everybody would be watching their television as at the time the advert is being relayed. You don't assume that because you have published it in the newspaper, everybody should have seen the advert in the newspaper. You still go ahead to distribute, to deliver the notice of meeting to every stakeholder who should be aware of the scheduled meeting. Now, when you are posting the meeting notice on the notice board, you may not add the agenda. In the television, you may not add the agenda. On the radio, you may not include the agenda. In the newspaper, you may not include the agenda. But when you are delivering the notice of meeting to stakeholders individually, make sure you attach the agenda to the notice of meeting. And please tag it as draft agenda. That shows that one, you are humble. It shows that you are modest. It shows that you also give room for their views, because when you call it draft agenda, they do not see it as something that is cast on stone. They feel that you are giving them room to contribute to the agenda. And somebody may give you a call and to say, oh, it's good that you include the agenda for the meeting. I think we should also add this and that to the agenda. By tagging it draft agenda, you are telling them there is room for suggestions. So when they send you these suggestions, you take them, and on the day of the meeting, you now present the real agenda that has incorporated the views from all of the stakeholders that received the notice of meeting and the draft agenda. Now, when you have sent out the notice of meeting and the draft agenda, please ask for confirmation of availability for the meeting. And how do you do that? You can write it in the letter towards the end. Please, I would like to confirm your availability for this meeting to help us plan for every attendee. You know, you may be organizing some refreshments. You may even need to hire the seats or the table. You may need to produce the meeting files, or depending on the scale, on the profile of the meeting. So you may add it in the letter that you would like them to confirm their availability for the meeting. Now, you also send them reminders. While you are sending the reminders, you are still telling them to confirm to you whether they will be available for the meeting or they will not be available. You don't schedule a meeting in January for April, and between January and the end of March, you have said nothing again, and on the 15th of April, you just sit down and expecting people to show up. You may be disappointed that a lot of them are quite busy, that they have gone to attend to things organized by people who reminded them over and over again. So it is very necessary to ask for confirmation of availability for the meeting. Now, another thing that you need to do is to make arrangements for basic meeting materials. I mean, if there are documents that you would need to read to them, if there are documents that you want them to consider, make sure that you have it ready. If you want to give them individual copies, make sure that you have produced copies so that you can circulate the document during the meeting and everybody can hold a copy of that document while they speak to it. Make sure that you have provided writing materials, at least pen. That's why I said basic meeting materials, necessary documents, writing materials, pens, jotters, or at least make sure that you have A4 paper available, plain sheets available. If it's a meeting on the scale that doesn't call for production of jotters or memo pads. Now, if it's a meeting that would require that you have a presenter, somebody wants to analyze something for everybody to see clearly, then you may need to also arrange for flip chart stands, markers, dusters, and so on and so forth. But if you have a large meeting, maybe you are expecting about 2,000 people, even not 50 people, 100 people in a hall, then you may also need to arrange for a public address system and ushers. Because when you have a large crowd, you will need ushers to attend to certain needs of the attendees. Now, another thing you will need to prepare is a registration desk. Arrange for a registration desk and get ready the attendance sheet, so that as people are coming in, they are registering their presence by writing their names on the registration sheet. Another thing that you need to do is that you ensure, if you are hosting the meeting within your business premises, you are the host. Ahead of time, ensure that your visitors' convenience is clean and provide supplies. You know what I mean by visitors' convenience? The restroom, the visitors' restroom. Make sure that it is clean and you have supplies. You have hand wash. You have napkins. You have soap. You have things that would give your business premises a good image and make your guests comfortable. If you operate within a big complex, arrange directional signs. Make provision for directional signs and or waiters to guide your guests to the meeting room. If you are in a very large complex and there are blocks and wings and suites, so in addition to the fact that the address must be on the notice of meeting and letters that you have sent to them, don't assume that it will be easy, it will be equally easy for everyone. You also make arrangement for directional signs that will make it easy for your guests to locate the meeting room. You can also make arrangement for 1 or 2 waiters who can answer questions from people who appears to be lost within the premises. Now, don't forget refreshments, nibbles, tea, beverage, lunch, depending on the scale of the meeting, and ensure there is a vote of thanks. Vote of thanks can be very refreshing, gladdening, and sweet. When people have been talking and they are tired and you have engaged them, you've seized their time, and the meeting just ends without a vote of thanks, it takes so much away from the beauty of your preparations. So make sure that every meeting ends with a vote of thanks, and make sure that you assign the person to give the vote of thanks before the meeting begins, so that the person too has prepared for what to say. Don't treat vote of thanks as an afterthought. If you are the one to give the vote of thanks, prepare for it. If you want to assign to give the vote of thanks, prepare for it. Now, don't forget, this is TV Kudirat, and we are discussing scheduling and handling business meetings on Business Realm. We have discussed you as a meeting host within your business premises. Now we want to discuss you as a meeting host outside of your business premises. Your business premises is not conducive for the kind of meeting that you are hosting. So you have gone to make arrangements for a conducive or an appropriate business meeting location. How should you handle that? That's not so difficult. Everything that you have prepared for while that you would prepare for if you are hosting the meeting in your premises are just the things that you should prepare for, except that you make provision for payment because the location is not yours. So you need to pay for the location that you are going to use, and you need to pay ahead so that the dates that you have in mind will not be booked before you get there. You need to make inquiries on time, confirm your booking with deposits on time. Remember that on this program we once discussed the dynamics of ordering and orders. So if your order for the location is not backed with deposits, they may also not treat it as a concrete. So you have to confirm the order with payment on time. That's number one. Number two, if there are logistics that you want to move from your office to the meeting location, ensure that you move them on time, because that place is not your office, it's not your business location, it's not for you, you are not in charge. So you need to move those logistics on time, get them placed, installed, and connected on time before the meeting time. Now, what if you are invited to the meeting? And now, before I go to that, you have arranged, you have made payment, you have moved your logistics, and the location has been, your order has been confirmed. Make sure that you arrive there, even though it's not your premises, but you are the one hosting the meeting. Make sure that you arrive at the location before everyone else. Make sure that you have your registration desk at a conspicuous place with a banner or signpost that would quickly point to where the meeting is holding, so that your visitors do not have problem locating the meeting venue. You would be allowed to do all of this for the period of the meeting. Now, what we are discussing now is, what if you are invited to the meeting? You are not holding this meeting in your premises, and you are not hosting it elsewhere. Someone else is hosting the meeting, and you have been invited to the meeting. How do you undo that? Now, ask for the purpose of the meeting. You know, if you are planning, you would identify the need for the meeting. So you expect that the host has also identified the need or the purpose of the meeting. So you ask, why do we need to host this meeting? You must know why, because your time is precious. Then ask for the agenda. Find out who else is coming to the meeting. That's also very important. And prepare for your contributions. Once you have the agenda, you know the issues that are going to be discussed, and you don't want to go there and appear as an idiot. So you prepare for what you are saying, what you are going to say at the meeting. And now, you know, I said if you are hosting the meeting, you should prepare or arrange or provide writing materials. Now, in this case, you have been invited. Go with your writing materials. The host may not be as good in handling professional meetings, so you have to go with basic writing materials, at least a pen and your memo pad. Now, use the toilet just before you leave your base, just before you leave your own office. Make sure you use the toilet, and don't go to the meeting hungry, so that as soon as the caterer arrives at the door, the aroma of their soup begins to distract you, because you went to the meeting hungry. So don't go to the meeting hungry. You may keep your own nibbles. I mean, you may keep some wraps of mint or sweets or candy. If you are good with sugar, you may keep nuts like cola nuts or bitter cola. You may keep very simple nibbles that your pocket can accommodate. And if you feel dizzy, you feel like dozing, you engage yourself with those things. You may, if it won't be impolite to chew gum in the kind of meeting, because there are different categories of meeting. You may keep things like that with you to keep your mouth busy, so that you don't sleep off, you don't doze off. If need be, go with an assistant. The assistant may not be allowed to enter the meeting with you, but there will be a space nearby, maybe at the reception or at the lobby, where your assistant can sit while you attend the meeting. And if you need the help, you just get out of the meeting to give instructions to this assistant to get you whatever you have to take from the car or from wherever. Now, put a call through to the host of the meeting the night before the meeting to confirm that things are still as stated in the notice of meeting, in the letter, in the publication that you got. A night before, make sure you put a call across to the hosts of the meeting or the meeting officer. The host may not be the chairman of the company, may not be the MD. There may be a meeting officer, a schedule officer who is in the RSVP list that you can call and confirm that things remain as stated in the meeting notice and in the agenda too. Now, when the meeting is on, be calm, be attentive in the meeting. Now, even though you have prepared for what you are going to say in the meeting, because you received the agenda, you have an idea of the issues to be discussed, and you are prepared to contribute intelligently to the discussion, but seek the right cues before your contribution. Let the flow of the meeting give you the cue, the nudge, the prompt to. It's not you don't just jump in when they are discussing about railway, and then you start talking about something that is not related at all. So you must seek a cue, you must be calm, you must be attentive, you must seek a cue, and you must also see there will be a table leader or a chairman or somebody who is leading or heading the meeting. You signify your interest to talk and wait for recognition before you take the floor. You don't go to the meetings to present yourself as somebody who is uncultured. Now, applaud brilliant views. When you are attending a meeting and somebody has given a very brilliant submission, applaud them. But let others condemn the less brilliant ones. Applaud brilliant views, allow others to condemn the less brilliant views. It doesn't have to be you who would condemn less brilliant views. That shows you as somebody who is polite, modest, humble, civil. Connect with attendees at tea break time to expand your network. When you are on recess, or it is time for tea, or it is time for lunch, or on your way to the car park, or at the slightest opportunity, make sure that you connect with one or two or more of the attendees so that you strengthen your relationship with them and they become part of your network. Leave the meeting at the appropriate time. and the appropriate time is no time. If they start the meeting on time and end the meeting on time, you know, you are supposed to have left the meeting time open since you got the notice, and then the next program or activities that you will schedule will come after the meeting time. So if the meeting worked to time, then at the end of the meeting you leave on a good note, politely. But if you got there and they've wasted 2 hours doing nothing because others were not present, or because the organizers were not organized, and so when it is time that you have scheduled the next activity, you don't want to keep others waiting, you may leave. But don't leave in anger, don't leave in a lousy manner, don't leave fighting people, don't leave complaining. Just quietly leave if you have to leave, because sometimes you may consider the meeting that you are currently attending more important than the next activity. So you may find time within the meeting to send a note to the people you are engaging with in the next activity, to ask for their forgiveness that you will not be able to make it for some reasons. So it's for you to weigh both sides, which one you want to continue with or which one you want to leave to go and attend to the next. So leave the meeting at the appropriate time and leave politely. Return to base and review the meeting. Everything that has been said in the meeting, since you went with your writing materials, your pen and your memo pad, you've taken your note too. While you are waiting for the minutes of the meeting, you've also taken your note, which may not be as detailed as the minutes that will be sent to you later. But from your notes, you can review everything said at the meeting and begin to apply the recommendations as appropriate. Now, if you are a family man or a family woman, you ensure that every family responsibilities for that time has been taken care of. For instance, if you do school runs, you need to go and pick your kids in school at the time of that meeting. On that day, you make a special arrangement for someone to pick the kids. If you have a religious program for that day, make sure that you make some other arrangement. You have another business meeting or you've been invited as a guest speaker, make sure that you've tightened all corners, all edges, all sides. You don't just leave everything to suffer because you are going to attend a meeting. You know, you consider which one of them is a priority, and you make sure you plan your time, you manage your time so that things don't clash. I hope that you have enjoyed this edition of Business Realm. We have discussed scheduling and handling business meetings. Thank you so much. That's it for today. We'll see you again next Sunday. Next time, because I don't know when you will come across this video. If you are not watching live, we'll meet again next time. Please like our page, follow the page, and share our programs. We are grateful to you for doing that. Thank you so much. Bye for now.